Welcome to the detail sealant test, where I put Gloss Silke, 3D ceramic, carbon collective Speciale, diamond QD, DIY detail Envie, and clean. Unfortunately, clean was the wrong product. Clean and technically Gloss maybe don't fit the bill because Gloss itself is more of a shine product, but I put it on anyway just to see the differences. And with that, let's move along to the hood of the car or the bonnet, depending on where you're from. Some 256-to-1 DIY detail goes on just to let it sit. I have already washed, clayed, water spot remover on it. I'm wiping it back off because it's been an hour or two before I come back out to do it. It's not that it's been anywhere. I had done the glass, and now I wanted to carry on and do the hood of the car to see exactly what would happen. Detail sprays to me should last for about 2 to 4 weeks. I actually spray on there with Nemesis in my pump sprayer. I'm just going to wipe down. But as I was saying, an expectation is for a detail spray for 2 to 4 weeks. I like to wash my car every week. So for me, that's longer term than I really need. If you like to wash yours every month, I think a detail spray should be okay with that. I find anything that you have to use very small amounts that you're going to clean with is really an issue because you're relying on a very small amount of liquid for an ability not to scratch your car when you're trying to clean a little of it off. But anyway, I'm going to move along. I brought out my DA. I've got a little bit of DIY Detail 256-to-1 in the spray bottle, pre-mixed. I put on some gold standard, nice little swirl on it, and then I'm going to do 3 passes. I'm actually going to keep polishing it until I feel happy that it's definitely done. This has never had a long-term permanent coating on. It's only ever had some form of sealant, so big harder to come off whether it's really just clean paint and I'm fixated on it. Either way, it's going to get done. It's going to get washed down. Is this a little bit longer on for that? Maybe I should have done this a little bit quicker. I spray on some DIY rinseless, then wipe off with a cloth. It's feeling more like fresher paint, but the main thing is just to give a good surface for when you go next. And then I move on to the left-hand side. You can see I spray off the pad to get anything off the pad. Then I just use my thumb just to clean. I also have a piece of plastic, like a plastic jerry can I use for the handle if I need to use that. Then as you can see, a nice little curl on it again, or maybe you can't, I don't know. A nice little curl on the DA, and off we go for another 3 passes. I want to make sure once again when doing those 3 passes that I get what is good. And when that item is good, everything should be good. Coming through once I finish off my passes, and once again I'm going to wash it off, the DA, Wiping my thumb just to make sure it's clean. And then I'm moving this section a bit quicker here. Gonna spray it down again with a bit of rinseless. I got my app out. I've got my app applicator, which is an 8mm stroke DA, cheap one. Definitely less than $50. Obviously, I'm then going to make sure I dry off to ensure that everything is good. And then I bring out to do a little water test. I actually think at this point it may just be that it's clean paint. But you know what? I'm going to try it, and then I'm going to pump a fuller load of water on. I probably should have done that then, but I didn't. So I'm just going to carry on once drying off. So once again, polishing, water testing, polish. I just want to make sure. I do the left-hand side the same. Polish, water test, happy with that. Put my light on because now I'm going to add the app. Obviously, I only put one lot on because I don't need more. And you can just kind of see in the light where the app's on the hood. And then when I wipe it off, you can see it suddenly gets all shiny in that area, which I think is good. Because next it's time to put on some tape. The wife really doesn't like seeing the tape marks, so it's her car. Hopefully she doesn't notice. She doesn't necessarily look at it, but it doesn't mean she won't see it. You can see it in the morning when there's any dew on it. So moving on from that, I'm then going to start by putting out the towels to make sure that I don't overspray on anything. I'm doing 2 coats of everything, and I'm going to start with Envie, that top right hand corner. And just to let you know that none of the sealants know what towel I'm using, but you can see I'm using orange for the top ones, yellow for the bottom ones, which I think matter a little bit less. Envie goes on, spray on, wipe off, then do a second application, spray on, wipe off, turn over, buff, all good. Move along. Then going to I've got another cloth just to make sure everything's covered. Then get the diamond QD out, spray on, wipe, turn over, buff off, turn over the towel, spray on again, wipe round, turn over, buff off, put the QD back up. Then I'm going to move along to pans, which obviously, as I said before, I made a mistake when using pans. It's actually sealant. I picked up the wrong one. It should have been the bluer labeled. I got the red one up, so it's the sealant. I wipe on, turn over, buff off, then turn the rag over, put another couple of sprays on. Once again, put on, turn over, wipe off. No application problems there. Then I'm going to move along to Carbon Collective Speciale, which is supposed to last about 3-ish months. Once again, I don't really know, as a detail spray really should be claiming that length. I don't think you should use a detail spray to get yourself up to 3 or 4 months. I think that's where a sealant comes in, personally. 3D ceramic detailer. I'm going to do the same with that again. Spray on, wipe, turn over, buff off. Then I'm going to move down to the Stana Gloss, which kind of would be an outlier too, because it's really, I believe there's still some form of SO in it, but it's actually more of a gloss product than actually a ceramic product. But on the lower halves, I'm less bothered about that. Knowing that I messed up the pans on, it doesn't really matter if this doesn't perform as well, but it should obviously look good, and it may even feel slick. But once they're all done and everything's good, I pick up my towels, and then I know at that point reposition the lights, and maybe it's a little bit more light over the whole lot, but I'm then looking to see exactly how well that's working. I take a picture, which I'm going to use, and then I'm using my cloth to go round, checking which may feel a little bit slicker than the others. I think Envie and or maybe Carbon Collective is the slickest. It's one of those two. It could be Envie nudges it, but they all may get slightly different, and I'm not worried about that, because once again, you don't really go back to a car the next day and generally wash it. You might wipe it over if you have some dust on, but in general, most people are not washing it. If you're washing once a week or twice a week, that's probably about it. Moving on to the next day, there's been a bit of mildew. I've removed the tape. I'm also going to do the windscreen because I have coatings on the windscreen, and this is Loki at the 16:1 dilution, which means on a litre of water, there are 2 ounces of Loki, and I think Loki at that ratio is as good, and or DIY Detail version 1 is as good as Loki at that dilution. V2 is not. Unfortunately, when they moved over to V2, it does not foam as well as V1. V1 is definitely better, and Loki is definitely in there. So after spraying all on, of course, it's then time to move on to washing it off. I'm going to start with the windscreen because that's where I started anyway, and I'm going to move on from that. Once that's washed off, then time to move on to the contact wash. Then move on to the bonnet, and you can see when things wet out which sealants are doing better than others. You can obviously see the tape marks, and the Stana gloss is maybe not doing as well. So I try the water over the glass just to see what happens, and you could of course see that from the left side Envie and the right side Carbon Collective sealant. Obviously Carbon Collective sealant is indeed way more hydrophobic. Splash the water on the hood, and as you're looking at it, you can see that they're all doing fairly well. It actually looked to me that first, just showing out there, is in between Envie and the QD. They're both doing very well on that. Everything else is really doing pretty good. You can see how the water's flying off. At that now, after I've done that, I'm going to dry up and dry everything off. And once everything has been dried off, I'm done. And that gives you a quick update as to where I am with a few detail sprays to see what's happening with them. I'm not going to do probably lots of videos, but I may do 1 or 2 just to show how well they're going. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment if there's something you want to see happen, or there's something you want to see tested in real world rather than somebody attacking it with chemicals. Put it down in the comments. Goodbye.